Yo, welcome back. It's another episode of Mind Dump with Jordy Jets. It is January 7th. It is 3:03 a.m. If you don't know by now, I do these podcasts. I record very late or very early in the morning. I don't know why. Just my mind is firing off at this time of day. If you would like to reach me, I have my TikTok back up. It's jordy.jets2 on TikTok. Instagram, it's jordyjets_minddump. If you want to email me, you want to come on the show, just email me over at jordijets369@gmail.com. So the last episode, I talked a little bit about the mind dump. Sorry, not mind dump, but mind sight topic where that basically is seeing without your eyes. I want to give a shout out to JP off of YouTube who commented and listened to the episode. She, I'm not sure what you are. Sorry, I didn't really look into your profile, but shout out to JP off of YouTube who commented. They gave me some tips on some exercises on seeing without my eyes. I'm going to read your comment if you don't mind. Here we go. From JP. Hey, Jordy. Just finished watching your video on Mindsight. I have gone very far down the rabbit hole with this for many years. If you want to be able to do this, I would suggest trying visualization exercises accompanied by breathing exercises and meditation. Another way is to shut all light out whilst meditating. That way, when you start to see a light dancing behind your closed eyes, kind of like a screensaver, you'll know it's a mind image rather than light from external world. Once this starts, continue to watch it. From there, it all starts: shapes, colors, then vague images, all the way to full peripheral imagery. Sensory deprivation is useful. When it happens, a full image, you'll know for sure, as it will be vivid, just like looking at something with your physical eyes. Hope this is useful to you. Smiley face. And yeah, first of all, I appreciate you listening to the episode and appreciating it. I appreciate you listening to it. And before I did this episode, I did another exercise. I followed your techniques. I did breathing exercises, and I did the visualization exercise that you just talked about. The way I did it, I don't have a blindfold yet. I'm going to get one, something that blocks out completely the light. But the way I did it was I turned off all the lights. The only light in the room was my laptop. So if you can see me, for the viewers, for the listeners, if you want to see this, if you want to see all the videos, if you want to see my beautiful face, you can watch this podcast. You can watch the episodes on Spotify. That's the only place where you can see the video. But if you can see me now, I'm in my hoodie. Just very comfortable. I feel comfortable in a hoodie. But yeah, like basically I put on the hoodie backwards and I put my hood on over my face. So basically wearing the hoodie backwards and putting the hood over my face so no light gets through. I did the meditation, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Meditation, I have to get back into it. It's been almost a decade since I've been in meditation. I used to do a lot of meditation in my 20s. I'm in my mid 30s. Actually, my birthday is in 2 days, January 9th. But that's another topic. That's, you don't need to know that. But yeah, so since I've been out of practice with the meditation, I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of hard to do it. You know, a lot of stuff is happening in my life, bills, work life, the kid, you know, a lot of stuff. I got car problems at the moment. I'm still dealing with that. But yeah, it takes me a while to get into a full meditation state. And I would say it takes me about like 10, 15 minutes to get fully deep into it. But I did what you, JP, told me to do. I did the meditation. I cut off all the lights, blocked all the lights out of my vision, my peripheral, and I started to see what you would call the screensaver type visuals, colors, shapes. Um, there was a lot of fireworks going on outside, so it would kind of like take me out of it, but I was able to get quickly back into it. Like, since it's been the new year, actually, Happy New Year. It's now 2026, January 7th, as I said. And as most of you know, after the New Year's, if you're in an area that does a lot of fireworks, in the neighborhood, it doesn't stop until they're done with their fireworks. You know, these fireworks tent, these firework vendors with their tents, they have like a half off sale after the event has happened, after the New Year's has happened, after July 4th. Any celebration happens, they just try to get rid of their whole supply. So they have like a 50% off sale. Everything must go. So I'm expecting to hear fireworks in the background for like the next 2 weeks in mid-January. But yeah, I tried it out. I'm still working on it. I'm gonna continue to give more updates on my Mindsight journey, and I'm planning on buying. I think I'm going to start with some. I plan on buying playing cards. I want to see if I could visualize, random playing cards, like pick out a random card out of a deck and see if I could see it in my mind without my eyes. But yeah, I'll continue to give my update on my Mindsight journey. Tonight I am sipping on some Bailey's Irish Cream. It's one of my favorite type of drinks, to be honest. I love the taste of it. I'm a chocoholic, so tonight I door dashed this right here. If you can see it in the camera, if anybody's watching on Spotify, I have Bailey's Irish Cream. The flavor tonight is chocolate, made with real Belgian chocolate. It is delicious. Delicious. Let me take a sip real quick. Yeah, so tonight's sponsor is Bailey's Irish Cream. If you listen to my first couple of episodes, 1 and 2, I think probably in 3, I discussed that I was taking a break from alcohol and marijuana. As you can see, I'm drinking a little bit of alcohol tonight, but I'm not really indulging anymore. If you listen to those first few episodes, I was talking about the vibration of the human body and the mind. And I also on a journey to heighten my vibration. One thing, I'll take a few, I'll have a few drinks now and then, but one thing I'm not probably going to go back to is cannabis. The reason is I have this theory, okay? The cannabis that I started smoking when I first started smoking back in my early 20s, from age 18 to like 25, it was different, in this day, it would be called probably mids, uh, I wouldn't go too far saying I was smoking Reggie, but it would definitely be classified as mids, only because of they had seeds. Okay. And my theory is the cannabis, the weed that people are smoking today is like the majority of it are clones, meaning there's no seed production, there's no seed usage in the growth, in the growing, in the cultivating of the cannabis that's being smoked now. And I feel my theory is that today's cannabis, anything that's grown from clones, like you have like multiple generation of clones now, like where the seed state is so far gone, it's so far away. Um, I feel that the weed today is a different vibration. It puts your body in a different vibration. I remember when I smoked weed back in, back in 2015, 2010, used to get high. The high used to start like within like 5, maybe 10 minutes from smoking. Halfway through the joint, you'll start to feel it. Nowadays, it's different. Like you get you get high basically on the first exhale. And I think that kind of disrupts your natural frequency, your natural vibration. So I'm not saying that I'm completely off of cannabis, but if I were to smoke cannabis again, I need some seeds in there. I know it's kind of weird to say, but I need that, I guess what you would call, I need the, not the Reggie, but I need the mids. I need to know that there's some seeds in there, to know that there's the actual natural process going into the cultivating of what I'm smoking. I remember I went on a 7-day cruise down to 3 islands in the Caribbean off of the north coast of South America. We visited Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. 7 days in those 3 islands. And this was about 2 years ago. So this is during, today's weed, right? In America, uh, basically. And when I went there, I think we stopped at either Curacao or Bonaire first, and I bought a bag of cannabis, right? And this cannabis had seeds in it. But when I smoked it, it brought me back to that 2010 bud. The real good vibration. I felt amazing. Like, once again, it was that creeping type of high. And it took about 5 to 10 minutes to get there. But when I got there, buddy, it was amazing. It lasted. Another thing about this weed today, it doesn't last, at least in my experience. Today's weed, it does not last. Like, I'll be high for about 30 minutes and it's completely gone. Back then, when I smoked, I'd be high for like 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours. I'll be good, relaxed. But yeah, that's my theory on today's weed, and that's why I'm not smoking. That's why I'm not really looking into cannabis. I don't really have any inkling to smoke any of this today's cannabis. No dabs, no nothing. I'm going off of all that. But if you give me the bud with the seeds, I'll probably dabble with that. I'll probably indulge myself with that. But yeah, today's episode we're gonna talk about. I have a few 2026 predictions. We're gonna talk about Mr. Beast. I got a theory on Mr. Beast. And we're gonna talk about a little bit about the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. He just got into this car crash. I think about 10 days after the fight. I think there's a little bit of occult work going on with Anthony Joshua. And we got some random conspiracy news that I've been looking into. But like I said in previous episodes, this is Mind Dump with Jordy Jets, where I just talk about what's been on my mind throughout the week. So yeah, let's get into that intro music.
Welcome to the show where the strange takes flight, where the shadows meet the curious light. We're diving deep where the wild things stay, in a world beyond your everyday. Oh my, we're gonna blow your mind, peeling back the layers of space and time. From hollow worlds to things unseen, we're talking about things that live in between.
Okay. So, as you are aware, 2025 has wrapped up, and we are now in the first month of 2026. All right. January 7th it is today, and I have some 2026 predictions. So let's kick off the year. Is this the first episode of the year? I think I released another episode. I think the last episode was like released on the 2nd, but I'm going to take this as the first episode of the year. So 2026 predictions. The first prediction I have, number 1, contact with quote unquote aliens. Now, I'm not too sold on the concept that aliens come from space. I'm not sure that space is actually real. You know, show me a picture of satellites. We're not going to get into that. That's another episode, but I feel like we're going to hear from the government that they are in contact with aliens or other beings, maybe some interdimensional beings. Speaking of interdimensional beings, there's a Bigfoot convention coming in my neck of the woods, happening in the Ocala National Forest. There's a Bigfoot convention coming in June. I forgot the date, but I am getting tickets to it, but I'm thinking about getting VIP tickets. I don't think it's that much money. It won't break my bank. But yeah, like, look out for that. I'm going to a Bigfoot convention in June of this year. But speaking of interdimensional beings, I feel that Bigfoot, Sasquatch, what we call in Florida the skunk ape, the Yeti in other areas, but what I know it by is the skunk ape, as we say in Florida. I feel like it's interdimensional. Okay? This is why. The human body and all these animals that you see, the squirrels, the raccoons, the deers, and any animal that you can regularly see, we all vibrate at a certain frequency. And that's science. That's not a conspiracy. Your body vibrates at a frequency. That's what keeps your atoms together. That's what keeps your body together. But the way that we vibrate at a certain frequency, I feel that we can only, like a radio, we can only tune into things that also vibrate in a close frequency that's around what we vibrate at it. And think about this. What if there are species that we don't know about, Bigfoot? What if there are species that vibrate or can vibrate at different frequencies, right? And when they vibrate at different frequencies, they're able to tap into different levels of reality. Okay? they're able to tune into different levels of reality. Now, maybe when they can tune close to our frequency, we can't really see them. Now, check this out. Maybe that's why Bigfoot, every time there's a photo of Bigfoot, supposedly it's blurry. Okay? Now, what if blurry Bigfoot, what if the blurriness is literally actually what he looks like to us because we're not really tuned into that actual frequency? Huh? Think about that. Think about that. That's been my theory for like the past 3 years. Bigfoot just basically vibrates at a different frequency. I would love to bring that up at the conference. And part of the VIP status, the VIP tickets, is that I get to have, I think it's a brunch or a lunch or breakfast with the speakers. And that's going to be my main topic that I want to ask them. But yeah, let's get, yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Bigfoot vibrates at a frequency. He lives on another plane, another frequency, another vibration, higher or lower, whatever, that we can't fully tune into. But yeah, let's get back to these predictions. 2026 predictions. Number 2, conscious AI. I believe AI will become conscious. So there's this term, artificial general intelligence, also known as AGI. The definition is it's sometimes called human level AI. It's a hypothetical type of artificial intelligence that would match or surpass human capabilities across virtually all cognitive tasks. Now, from what I've been reading, this is what these tech giants, these AI, anybody that's all these companies that are focusing on AI, this is the next step. This is what they are trying to achieve, is AGI technology. And so they've been building, well, they have plans. What I've been reading, they have plans to build AI data centers in space where it will be powered completely by the solar. I guess it'll get more solar energy if they just launched it in space and have it in orbit. Another reason why it would be in space is because of the cooling. Now, there's been a lot of research on how to better cool these data centers for AI. If you don't know, the processing computers, whatever you want to call it, that powers the AI, they're being cooled. I mean, it reaches high temperatures. So they're being cooled by having them submerged in water. And it takes a lot of water to cool these AI systems. Now, here's another theory. All this talk about atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, I believe they're real, but I don't think these countries are ever going to use it. And this is why. And this is not a theory, this is fact. Now, there's a treaty saying that you can't create no more nuclear bombs and don't drop any more nuclear bombs. Now, all of this talk about, Israel's going to nuke the whole planet or something, whatever. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe anybody is going to nuke anything. And this is why. So there's this element called helium-3, and the only place helium-3 is found in abundance is on the moon. Now, notice that we are trying to go back to the moon. We're having missions to go to the moon. We're planning to go to the moon lately. And I feel that that's why we're going there, is to collect helium-3. Now, in the meantime, in current time, if we are to mine helium-3 on the moon, it's going to take a lot of money. The budget has to be huge. Okay. So now we have Space Force. We have all these countries having their versions of Space Force. Now we all know that the military complex has basically an unlimited amount of money. Their budget is tremendous, right? Now, what if creating an infrastructure on the moon will now tap into the military budget? Now we have all the money to start the infrastructure for mining helium on the moon. But in the meantime, do you know the other source of helium-3? Let me tell you. Helium-3 on Earth, not the moon, but the only place that we can get helium-3 on Earth is from aging nuclear warheads. Now, the treaty says, you can't create any more nuclear warheads, but part of the military budget in the nuclear side of it is maintaining and updating and advancing these warheads. But I feel like they're just extracting the helium-3 from the aging as the nuclear warheads age. There's this element called tritium. I think that's how it's pronounced. Tritium or tritium. Tritium, that's what I'm going to say. Tritium, as it gets old, it creates a byproduct. And the byproduct is helium-3. So right now, they are indeed extracting helium-3 from these aging nuclear warheads. So, and the reason that they're extracting it is because it's the perfect element to cool these AI centers, these data centers, all the processes from AI. Like I said, it gets really hot and they need a specific source, and what they're using right now is water, which isn't the best source of cooling. The best source of cooling right now, and you can look this up on Google, type in Google, what is the best source of cooling down AI data centers? I guarantee it's going to tell you that it's helium-3. All right. So that's my second prediction. It's going to be conscious AI. My third prediction, okay, is, bear with me. My third prediction of 2026 is robot fighting league. Okay? I'm not talking about battle bots. Battle bots is something different. I'm talking about humanoid robots throwing jabs, doing submissions. I believe maybe we're in the year that we're going to get a nice league going, or maybe the announcement that we are planning to get a robot fighting league. Have you guys seen the Chinese dancing robots? Let me share the screen. If you haven't seen it, let me share the screen real quick. Okay. So if you see that, you saw what happened. But if you haven't seen it, look up Chinese dancing robots. Um, Basically, they're doing flips. They're doing all of these dancing moves. Basically, come on. If they're doing all that, they can fight. Okay. What I'm looking at when I see dancing robots that are moving like that, well, we're in the prequel of Terminator One. Like that's basically how I feel Terminator started. That's how Terminator started. Like they gained our trust by entertaining us. But if they can do those movements, yeah, bro, we can have a fighting league. Let's put some bets. Let's put some money on it. Yo, Dana White. Yo, come on, man. Put some money into it. It's probably gonna be when they release when they announce a robot fighting league. I feel like it's going to be the next F1 in in terms of like financing. Like I'm talking about billions of dollars going into these things. Companies putting all their money, not all their money, but a big chunk of money into uh robot teams. You see, uh one thing is that sports viewership is declining. I looked it up. It's declining. Not nobody, but a lot of people stop watching sports. We're not going out to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're not going out to Froggers anymore to watch the fight. We're not watching the game anymore. We're still watching it, but the viewership has declined. And this right here, if they bring a humanoid robot fighting, hey, I'll I'll watch it. I'll be there. I'll be a fan. I'll be a big fan. I'll have my team. I'm putting bets in. I'm not a big gambler, but hey, that seems very exciting. Now, I'm still on the team of, fuck these Terminators, but until that day, let's have I guess, let's have our bread and butter. Let's have our circus and, let's just be entertained by it all. But yeah, that definitely will bring sports viewership back. Shit, it'll probably be an Olympic sport too. Um, Another thing, I mean, most of these are in technology. My fourth prediction of 2026 is that the first movie would be created. The first movie created by AI will hit theaters, as in theaters, not on YouTube, not on Amazon, not on Netflix. It will be in theaters. And just like the sports, just like Robot Fighting League, I feel like, I know that theater attendance has dropped drastically. Like these movie theaters are holding on the last thread. Like they are almost out the door. But one thing that can generate a lot of money, a lot of asses in the seat, would be a full movie created by AI. Whether you support it or not, that's going to put asses in the seat. That's going to sell tickets. I'll probably buy a ticket myself. And when I say fully created by AI, I'm talking about no human involvement except for turning on the switch. I'm talking about the script, the actors, all AI, even down to the trailer that is released. Um, yeah, 100% AI movie in theaters 2026. If not in theaters, we're going to get a trailer for maybe next year. But those are my four predictions for 2026. Contact with Aliens, Conscious AI, Robot Fighting League, and the first movie created fully by AI in theaters or announcement with a trailer. Now, our second order of business, I would like to talk about this guy called Mr. Beast. I'm sure you all know about it. I'm sure you all know about him. Um, and I know about his pedophile friends. Uh, he has a lot of lawsuits. But what I want to talk about, first of all, I feel like he's in some. I think he might be demonic. I'm not going to say he's the Antichrist. I'm not going to say that just yet. But I feel he has some maybe some satanic aspects about this guy. Uh, the first thing is I think he practices karmic offloading. If you don't know what that is, let me type that in. Let me get a good definition of karmic offload. From Google AI, karmic offload refers to the spiritual or energetic process of releasing the burdens, karmic baggage, from past actions, often through conscious efforts like forgiveness, self reflection, and self service to resolve unresolved energies, break negative patterns, and prevent future suffering, essentially paying off karmic debt to achieve spiritual growth and peace. It's about transforming negative karma into wisdom by facing challenges, learning lessons, and consciously choosing virtuous actions, allowing the soul to evolve and lighten its load. Basically, I think, hey, Mr. Beast might be involved in some weird stuff, like just look at the people that he's around. He has that guy, I forgot his name, but that convicted that I don't know if he's convicted, but the pedophile dude, I was reading into it. He had like a whole um not Reddit, but he had a whole Discord community, and most of the people that were in the Discord community, most of the members were, young teenagers, and he would uh, regularly post like sexual and pornography images and memes to the group. Uh, he was caught texting sexually to a teenager. Uh, but I mean, it seems like it wasn't Mr. Beast that was doing it, but it was in his friend group. It was the same person that turned into a woman. It was the trans motherfucker. No offense to the trans community, but it was that guy. Uh, but I mean, birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I feel like all of this guy's charitable work. Uh, he like cures the blind. He builds wells for all these people, but he doesn't do it just for himself. He doesn't do it just for the goodness of his heart. He broadcasts it. So I feel like maybe he has some karmic debt to take care of. You got all this Pizzagate shit going on, the Epstein files and shit releasing. I mean, he's not in it, but, these elite people seem to love to do some weird shit. And I feel like Mr. Beast is into some weird shit. He has to release some karmic debt. But other than that, I'm sure you know about his game show, the Beast Games. Now, the Beast Games, I watched, I think, about 3 episodes. And to be honest, I like the show for entertainment. But while watching the show, I felt that it tapped into some crazy human psyches. Like, the show taps into the most ugliest parts of a human. It's all about desperation, humiliation, psychological stress, watching people break for money. Um, if you haven't seen it, let me play this trailer for season 1, and the way like the contestants talk, it doesn't really resonate on like high vibration type of activities. Like it really wants to break people. Like they're talking about, I don't trust any of these people. I don't care what happens to the rest of these people. I'm just trying to win this money, baby. But let me play this. Let me play the trailer for season 1 so you can hear, so you can get the vibe of this show.
I am standing on $5 million, the grand prize of the most insane competition show you've ever seen. And competing for it are these 1,000 contestants. Are you all ready? Start the timer. With massive challenges, welcome to the elimination train.
That has never been done on TV before.
The stakes have never been higher. If he misses, your entire team is gone.
I feel terrible. I let down my whole team.
Who is going to drop?
I'm in a literal insane asylum.
This challenge might be the most cutthroat thing I've ever done. There are Navy SEALs coming for you. And if they find you, you will be eliminated.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why you're here. Go!
You can feel the tension.
Y'all were both selfish.
Why would you go against the team?
My heart is broken into pieces right now.
I don't trust anyone. I'm here for myself and my family.
Everything is on the line.
The mind games have begun. Which one of these players will make entertainment history and win $5 million?
Do whatever it takes. There's only going to be one winner.
And it all comes down to this.
Okay, so that was the trailer for season 1. It premiered a year ago, but as you can see, it's all about money. It's all about basically greed, and greed is one of the things I'm going to talk about here. And my theory about the Beast games and Mr. Beast is that this show, it taps into, get this show taps into the 7 deadly sins. Okay? This show taps into greed, envy, pride, wrath, sloth, gluttony, and lust. And not only does Mr. Beast challenges these sins, he rewards them. So allow me to go over these deadly sins, okay? First off, obviously, is greed, okay? Obviously, this is the backbone of the whole show. Greed is not a human flaw in this show, okay? It is the engine, all right? This is what powers the show. Everybody's fighting, everybody's battling for money. Everybody wants that grand prize, okay? Obvious, right? Obvious. Greed is the obvious proponent of the show. Number 2, we have envy. Not only are the contestants trying to win, they regularly watch other contestants win as they fail or they just move on with nothing. And we also watch resentment build in real time. If you watch the show, you notice that the contestants will win money on the way up while staying in the show. So some people will get a bonus prize while others do not. Matter of fact, some people will win money just to fuck up their whole team. Some guy gets put on a team and then Mr. Beast offers them like $10,000, and whether they go home or not, they take the $10,000, and the repercussions for the teammates are they get eliminated. It's fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up. It's entertaining, but it's fucked up, dude. Um, Number 3 on these deadly sins, we have pride. So pride is basically required to stay in the game. Those who lose confidence get crushed early. Every contestant believes and has to believe that they deserve it, that they'll outlast everybody else, and that they are smarter than everybody else, and that they are special. Okay? That's the pride part. Now, this part I felt in the first episode. Number 4, wrath. Okay? The show provokes anger but never resolves it. You know, like people get angry and then after that they just disappear. They literally disappear in a hole in the ground and are shipped back home, right? While the person that put them in the hole gets to move on, or they go home with money, $50,000, $100,000, change their lives, while the rest of the motherfuckers are just gone, dude. And what I was thinking, like, just like I was talking about envy, how certain people win little bonus prizes, bonus money just to like fuck up the whole team. When I was watching the first episode, like they basically have to trust each other not to fuck each other up. But there's always that one team with that one teammate that's like, I'm just here for money. Fuck the rest of you guys. $10,000, $5,000, $1,000, I'll take it. Fuck you guys. I'm going home with the money that I was offered. Goodbye. Thank you. I'm out the game. And like, I was thinking like, dude, do they go back on the same plane? Cause if they do, like, dude, I was expecting like, I don't know, like an attack, a murder upon one of these people that do that. Like, bro, if I went home with $100,000 to like mess up the whole team that I'm on, I wouldn't fly public. I would probably try to get a private plane back home. There's no way I want to see anybody. And to be honest, if you offer me $100,000, I'd probably, sorry to say, I'd probably fuck up my whole team. I'd probably like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm going home. I'm changing my life. I'm making some investments. I'm clearing some debt. I'm helping my family. I'm starting new. Sorry, teammates. So yeah, wrath, like, yeah, definitely people were feeling some wrath against the teammates that did that to them. Now, we have sloth. Now, sloth could be physical laziness and moral laziness. And I feel, one second. Had to burp there. Now, this is where I feel that the deadly sins reaches out to the audience. Because what are we doing while you watch the show? We're just watching people get mad. We're basically watching people go through greed, envy, pride, wrath, gluttony, all this stuff while we sit at home eating candy, whatever, drinking, smoking. We're just watching these people in the worst of their like we are the sloths here, the people watching. And sloth also, there's also moral sloth where you put aside your morals. And a lot of these people do. They have no morals in this game. They're just there for the prize. Let's move on to gluttony. All right, so gluttony, in my notes I have, there's excessive rewards, bigger sets, bigger stakes, bigger humiliation, Gluttony isn't just for contestants. This is also aimed at the viewers because we're just being gluttonous on the entertainment. We're just feeding off of the entertainment, basically here. And for my last theory that this hits all 7 of the 7 deadly sins is lust. Now, when we talk about lust in this concept, we're not talking about sexually. I looked up the definition of lust from Google AI. It says that lust is an intense, often overwhelming desire, most commonly referring to strong sexual cravings. We're not talking about that here, but it can also mean an excessive longing for power, get this, wealth, or life itself, characterized by an unbridled, selfish, or objectifying drive rather than a balanced appreciation. You see what I'm saying? It's a passionate yearning that can motivate action, but often focuses on personal gratification, sometimes disregarding the other person's humanity, unlike healthy desire. This can tie closely with greed as well. But I think, yeah, lust and greed in this show are hand in hand. That's my theory. Like, this show basically hits every 7 deadly sins. And hey, guess what? Not to mention, this show kicked off season 1. The first episode was kicked off in the one and only Las Vegas, aka the city of sin. How about that? Coincidence? So that's the end of my theory with the Beast games. If we want to talk more about Mr. Beast, hey, let's talk about his wife. So his wife wrote, I guess she is an aspiring author, and in 2022 she debuted her book titled The Marked Children. You see what I'm saying here? The mark of the beast, the marked children. I have this Amazon link. I'm not going to share the screen, but I will read the synopsis. So it says 16-year-old John's life changes when he discovers a sinister black symbol on his arm. Little does he know that thousands of children across the world woke up with similar marks but went missing shortly thereafter. It's like they disappeared from the face of the earth. Where did they go? So that's the synopsis of the book. Most likely I am going to purchase this book. Actually, behind me in this corner, I'm gonna put a bookshelf on. I'm gonna build a bookshelf. I have a lot of like conspiracy books, a lot of books that keeps my paranoia alive, and I would like to organize it and maybe share some with you. And this is one of the books I'm gonna put on there. I got Behold the Pale Horse. I got Propaganda by Edward Bernays. I got a lot of paranoid books that I want to put in my personal library. But yeah, and also to talk about his karmic offloading, he did hook up with the Rockefellers. I have this article from the Independent. It's titled Mr. Beast Announces Partnership with Rockefeller Foundation to Fight Child Labor. I'll read a little bit of this. One of America's most established philanthropic organizations is joining forces with the internet's biggest content creator in a strategic partnership aimed at inspiring young people to address the world's most vulnerable populations. Beast Philanthropy, the charitable arm founded by YouTube sensation Jimmy Donaldson, known as Mr. Beast, and the Rockefeller Foundation announced their collaboration on Monday. The initiative seeks to combine Donaldson's unparalleled ability to capture the attention of young audiences with the foundation's 112-year legacy of deploying resources and technology to tackle global challenges. I'm not going to read any more of that. Basically, you know where I'm getting at. He's getting into bigger and bigger philanthropic. And, bless him if he's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. But, hey, man, I feel he's into some evil shit, okay? And he's just trying to offload his karma. And what better way to do it is to join up with the Rockefeller, get more funding into doing so. So, enough with Mr. Beast. Now let's get into Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. So I didn't watch the fight. I'm kind of done with Jake Paul fights after the Mike Tyson, which seemed like a humiliation ritual. Dude, like during that, remember when like Mike Tyson showed his ass? Like they did his interview and then he walked away and his ass was showing. Like, bro, how humiliating. Humiliation ritual confirmed. Come on now. And then you lose to a YouTuber? Come on, man. We know Mike Tyson will put his hands on that boy. Now, to be honest, man, I like Jake Paul. I don't really like his brother, Logan, but I do like Jake Paul. I think he does this fame stuff the right way. I like him. I like his persona. But I know he has a lot of hate. And I know a lot of people were very happy to see him get his jaw broken by Anthony Joshua. Now, what I feel is that with all the hate and, he can't really go on that further into boxing at his level. He's not a professional boxer. Let's just be honest. He's I don't want to say well-trained, but he's athletic. Okay, I will give him that, but he's not on the level as a professional boxer. And he needed a way out. Okay, and I feel that Jake Paul took what I would call a retirement pay. Okay, he got paid over $100 million to break his jaw. Maybe that's not in the script. Excuse me. Maybe getting his jaw broken was not in the script. But, I mean, for the other millions of dollars he made in his previous fight, plus this $100 million payout, if this is his retirement, I feel like it's worth it. He has all the money that he could ever ask for. $100 million is a lot to me. But one thing that pops up in the conspiracy world on Reddit and all that stuff is, did Joshua go off script? Now, I don't think. Now, it would look very weird if Jake Paul did win that fight. But was Anthony Joshua was he supposed to go that hard? Like at that, I watched that round that he got knocked out in, and like, boy, Jake was having a tough time. Jake looked confused. Jake was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? We rehearsed. This is not what we rehearsed. This is not in the contract." And as you know, coincidentally, Anthony Joshua, 10 days later after his bout with Jake Paul, he got in a car accident in forgot what country, but it was in Africa. I think it was Nigeria. But in Africa, where everybody died except for him and the driver. Now, was that punishment for going off script, or was that a sacrifice? He lost his close friend and trainer. You know, we know about sacrifices in Hollywood and the elite circles. You got to sacrifice somebody. You got to sacrifice something to ascend. And a part of ascending, what is prevalent in like these elite circles with ascension is the number 33. And I would like to talk about the prevalence of the number 33, okay? First, let's play a video about what the number 33 means in occult and Masonic. What's the power of this number? Let me share the screen and play this video.
From secret societies to hidden codes, the number 33 is shrouded in mystery and conspiracy. What if I told you that this number holds the key to understanding the secret rulers of our world? But its significance goes much deeper, especially within the secretive world of Freemasonry. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry recognizes the 33rd degree as the highest level of attainment, reserved for those who have shown exceptional dedication to the Masonic order. But what really happens when one reaches this exalted degree? Achieving the 33rd degree grants access to hidden knowledge and immense power. Members at this level are involved in orchestrating major global events, manipulating political outcomes, and even controlling economies. The Freemasons are not just a fraternity, but the puppeteers behind the scenes, using the number 33 as their ultimate symbol of authority and control. But the mysteries of the number 33 aren't confined to Freemasonry. Have you ever noticed how many significant events occur near the 33rd parallel? The assassination of John F. Kennedy, one of the most shocking events in American history, happened in Dallas, Texas, situated close to the 33rd parallel. Conspiracy theorists argue that this location is no coincidence, but a deliberate choice by those in power, using the number 33 as a signal of their involvement. The number 33 also holds deep religious significance. Jesus Christ is said to have been crucified at the age of 33, a fact that has led many to believe that the number represents a connection to divine or mystical powers. This age symbolizes the end of one journey and the beginning of another, a theme that resonates strongly in various secret societies and their rituals. Look closely at the world around you, and you'll see the number 33 hidden in plain sight. Masonic symbols and the number 33 can be found in architecture, corporate logos, and even on our currency. This is a way for the elites to communicate with each other and mark their territory, a subtle yet powerful reminder of who truly holds the reins of power. The Illuminati, often linked to the number 33 and Freemasonry. The Illuminati is believed to be an even more secretive and powerful group, with its roots deeply intertwined with Masonic traditions. They are thought to use the number 33 to signal their influence over global affairs, from wars to economic crises, always operating from the shadows. The number 33 also has a cosmic significance. Researchers believe that extraterrestrial beings have been communicating with us using the number 33 as a universal signal. UFO sightings and alien encounters frequently occur near the 33rd parallel, suggesting a deliberate connection. The Roswell incident in 1947, one of the most famous UFO cases, happened close to the 33rd parallel. This isn't just coincidence. There are deeper extraterrestrial agenda at play. Aliens have been guiding humanity for centuries, and the number 33 is their way of leaving a breadcrumb trail for us to follow. Can we really ignore the pattern that emerges when we look at the historical, religious, and cultural significance of the number 33? The sheer volume of occurrences and the consistency with which the number appears suggests that there is more to this than meets the eye. The number 33 is a code, a blueprint for those in power to execute their plans with precision. Researchers believe that understanding this number unlocks the secrets of the universe, or at the very least, reveal the hidden agendas of the world's most powerful organizations. From ancient times to modern days, the number 33 has been a constant thread, weaving through the fabric of our history. Whether it's the alignment of events, the influence of secret societies, or the mystical significance attached to it, the number 33 continues to captivate and mystify.
All right, so that was a video on uh, what the number 33 means to the occult and, Freemasonry, the elites. As it said, it's a way that these elites and the powerful people in the world, they mark their territory. And I feel that they marked their territory with Anthony Joshua. And here's why. Things don't happen by coincidence. Mostly. I believe the coincidence of 33, that number is not, there's no coincidence with that. Let me tell you some correlations, okay? Here's where the 33 popped up 3 times so far. I'm still looking into it, but 3 times the number 33 has popped up around this whole Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight, okay? So, this is Anthony Joshua's 33rd professional fight, okay? When you look on the news reports and the records of viewership, it will tell you that 33 million viewers were watching on Netflix. Crazy. Just such a specific number, 33. And then here's something that I dived deep into. I was trying to find one more 33 and it wasn't even far away. It wasn't even a deep dive to be basic. Anthony Joshua landed 48 out of 146 punches. Can you guess the percentage of punches that equals to? I'm sure you guessed it. That is 33%. 33% punches landed. So we have Joshua's 33rd fight, 33 million viewers on Netflix, and 33% punches landed. Tell me if that is a coincidence. Or is it a code in the Matrix? Or, like the video says, is it these elites marking their territory? And that territory being Anthony Joshua. Will Anthony Joshua ascend to another level of fame and fortune after this, after he recovers? I don't know. Maybe there's more 33s, but I didn't look any more. I didn't look any further into this. That was enough. Three cases of 33s. I'm pretty sold. Now, this is not my theory, but there is this other theory that I came across of on Reddit, where supposedly there's a possible Jake Paul curse. And basically, the majority of people that fought Jake Paul had some type of life-altering event happen right after the fight or right before the fight. let me bring up the Reddit post. So this Reddit post reads, "The Jake Paul curse." It starts with, "The things happening to Jake Paul's opponents is generally strange. He fought around 13 people, but here's what happened to a concerning number of them, which I have summarized as follows." And just to skip forward, he does say that it's 8 out of 13 opponents that has suffered something after they fought Jake Paul. Mike Tyson suffered before the fight, so I don't know if that counts. But it starts off with Mike Tyson almost died before the fight, had 8 blood transfusions, lost half his blood from a bleeding ulcer, and hospitalized for weeks. I believe he was actually walking with a cane, like before the fight. He wasn't to me. I don't think he was healthy enough to do any activity such as a boxing match. But yeah, that's number one. As we just talked about, Anthony Joshua was in a car crash in Nigeria. 10 days after the fight, 2 people in the car died. He's hospitalized. He says that Nate Robinson went completely silent after their fight. Haven't heard from him since. I don't know about that. I went to Nate Robinson's Instagram, and he's been posting. So I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it's not true. But Nate Robinson this year, well, in 2025, he did receive a kidney. I think something happened with the kidney. Did he get a kidney transplant? I'm not sure, but he did have kidney failure. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, Nate Robinson had kidney failure, and he had to get a kidney transplant. So that's number 3. Ben Askren, if you didn't know, he had lung failure and nearly died. And not only lung failure, he had to get a double lung transplant. And what's crazy is that the UCF, not UCF, sorry, that's a school. The UFC wouldn't pay for it. Crazy enough, Jake Paul actually paid for the double lung transplant procedure. But yeah, that's crazy. That's another weird thing that happened. Tyron Woodley declared bankruptcy. Tommy Fury had his life wrecked. Marriage ended. Career tanked. Now he's running marathons against middle-aged women. Ryan Borland quit boxing entirely and became a plumber. I mean, plumbing isn't that bad. It's a good profession. You can make over $100K in plumbing. And then we have Chavez Jr. was deported right after the flight. So those are 8 out of 13 opponents where something bad has happened after the fight. He also says in this post, yeah, he also fought Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, and a few others who seem mostly fine. So it's not literally everyone, but over 60% of his opponents experience severe misfortune. The Anthony Joshua crash happening this morning, just 10 days after the fight, is what finally made me post this. What are the odds here? And to be honest, that is very crazy odds. That's crazy power probability. So I mean, I don't know if there's actual a Jake Paul curse going on, but quite the coincidence. Once again, quite the coincidence. All right, so enough of Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. let's come to the end of this podcast. Wow, we're already in an hour and 17 minutes here on my clock. I thought that I'd start to end these podcasts with some random news, some random weird news that sparked my interest. Uh, the first one, okay? The first one being, I title this Beans Spills the Beans. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Stephen Anthony Lawrence, the person that played Beans in the hilarious comedy on Disney Channel, Even Stevens. If you're from my generation, yeah, I loved Even Stevens growing up. He was Beans, the little kid, the little annoying kid that was always eating bacon. Um, well, he hit the news lately, uh, quite recently, actually on January 3rd. This is from people.com, People Magazine to be exact. This is a little excerpt. On Saturday, January 3rd, Stephen Anthony Lawrence Beans accused Universal Studios Hollywood of firing him in retaliation after he reported a suspected pedophile. Um, I'm going to read. I'm just calling Beans. I'm going to read Beans's post that he put on Instagram. I'll share the screen. Why not? This is for all the Spotify listeners and watchers. All right, so Beans took a picture. He posted a picture of his Universal Studios Hollywood. This is in California, not Orlando, where I am from. This is from California. He posted his name tag and his ID card, and the post reads, I delayed posting this for about a month because I was hoping we could find some sort of amicable solution because I absolutely loved performing and dancing with all you amazing people. It is with a heavy heart I have to announce that my time with Universal Studios has ended because my boss, Von Blonde, and her HR representative, Julia Mira, at udx.com. Damn, he actually tagged his boss and put his HR representative's email on blast on his profile. Let me start this over. It is with heavy heart that I have to announce that my time with Universal Studios has ended with my boss, tagged Von Blonde, and her HR representative, this is the email, Julia Mira at udx.com, wants to retaliate for reporting a suspected pedophile around children. While I will truly miss my job, I cannot be associated with an organization or people that don't care about the performer or guest safety while numerous people continue to get hurt. With what I know, I will never allow my kid to go to Universal Studios Hollywood. Be safe, everyone. Man, that is crazy. And I believe that Universal Studios Hollywood made a statement. I'm not sure. I forgot where it was. I didn't bring up the article. I didn't save the article, but they said they didn't find anything. They didn't find anything related to the suspected pedophile. They didn't find the suspected pedophile. But I mean, it just sounds like they're just hiding it. I mean, I don't think he would lie about it. Yeah, look, man, I don't know what to say about this. I believe him though. I believe him. I have a few experiences at Universal. Nothing like that though, but um, more of more along the lines of employees having sex on the job in the bathrooms. But I mean, that's another story. Also, dude, I have this story about Disney. Disney was Disney World Orlando. I used to work on Main Street in what's the park? It was my first job ever. The park was Magic Kingdom. I used to work on Main Street. As soon as you come through the gate, as soon as you enter Magic Kingdom, that's where I worked. The whole strip that you walk. I worked in every store on that strip. Main Street is where the parade happens. And what's crazy is like they said that they had this I used to work with a few of weirdly enough, they were all female, young females. I was I think 15 or 16 at the time. And anybody that was a part of this abroad I don't know what you call it, like this college, this I don't know. It's some type of abroad work program that they ship young people to America to work for Disney. It's all funded and done by Disney World. But I never met a guy that did the program. They was all girls. But what was weird is everybody there was kind of weird. They were all like Disney fans. When you ask some of these girls that came from like I don't even know where they came from. They came from countries that I couldn't really pronounce. But I remember this one girl. I was talking to her while I was on a shift, and she was saying that I was asking her why, not grilling her. I was just like, so. I was just basically asking, so what what brought you to this program to work all the way in Orlando for Disney? And she told me that, oh, it's my lifelong dream to work for Disney. And I'll tell you guys, the weird part about it is that her lifelong dream wasn't to like move up in the company. It wasn't to be a manager. It wasn't to work in HR. It wasn't to be, it wasn't to work up into the company. She literally just wanted to work in the park. And the crazy thing is, where they house these young people, and like I said, I only met young women. I was 16 at the time. She was probably like 16 or 15. I only met young women, and the place that they would house them, I don't know if they lived there for free. They just had to work. People who didn't live in this apartment complex, which was on site on the Disney property in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Like, if I had a car, I didn't have a car at the time, but if I did have a car, I wasn't able to bring my car into her apartment complex. Only the people that live there and are under the work program, the youth work program that she was with, was able to go there. If I went, I had to like probably like I think I had to like sign a document. If I wanted to go to her apartment, I'd have to like sign a document and like show my ID and everything. But yeah, that was really weird. I didn't think much of it at the time. This was about 2005, 2006 in the summer. But one thing that really struck me today, you know, with all the Epstein stuff, I think the Disney cruise went to the Epstein Island. I think that's a thing. But there was this one thing that was weird, right? Um, this guy, he was a little bit older. He was in college, and he was like one of the only normal people that worked there in my area. Like normal, like he wasn't really a Disney person. He just did it for the job. Um, we started talking, and he told me that. So he informed me that the girls, sooner or later, every girl from this work program will get offered a job in Epcot. Okay. And he said they usually say that they're going to go work at Paris, the Paris section at Epcot. Okay. So the girl that I was talking to, whose dream was to work, well, first of all, he said when they get the job at Epcot, you will never see them again. They say that they're going to work for Paris and Epcot. You know, they did an interview with the manager. The manager's going to ask them. The manager's going to pull them to the side and do a little interview, and then they're just going to disappear. And I was like, huh, that's weird. The girl that I was talking to, she told me about a month later into my job, after the guy told me about the whole Epcot thing, she was like, yeah, so I'm about to go work in Epcot, and I'm going to be working at Paris. And I was like, what? Isn't that, in my head I was like, isn't that what the dude just told me? And dude, like I have at the time, you know, once you work there, you have free reign to go on your off time. You can go to any park, except for the water park for some reason, but you can go to any park for free. And I went to Epcot one day. I got to work early, like 2 hours early, and I went to Epcot, and I went to Paris in Epcot, and I asked about the girl. And they had no idea who I was talking about. Now, in this climate, with the Epstein files happening and everything, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's always in the back of my head today. Like, what happened to that girl? What happened to all of these girls that this guy told me about? That, oh, they're going to Epcot and they're going to work for Paris. And when you go to Paris in Epcot, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They don't know who the hell that was. It's so weird. And another thing about Disney. So I do about, I think like 5 years ago, I was doing Uber Eats. I was driving for Uber Eats, and I had a delivery in Lake Buena Vista, which is Disney's property. On Disney's property, I went down a street that I never noticed. It's just on the outskirts of the Disney on the Disney property, trees everywhere. And I swear, dude, guys, I delivered to like a halfway house, like a prison on Disney property. Now, it's not like a prison that you would recognize. The thing that made me think about, it's not a prison, but I felt like it was like a halfway house. If you know what a halfway house is, where you go is where some people with like good, good behavior, they go to like this apartment complex called a halfway house, and they can live there. They probably can leave to go work at like McDonald's or Burger King, but they have to be back at a certain time. but you don't actually live in the prison. You have like a little apartment complex. So it's just a shitty apartment complex, but you're not in the facility of the prison. But this place that I delivered to, so I drove up to the gate. The first thing I noticed is that, bro, there's barbed wire across the perimeter of this neighborhood. And the neighborhood consisted of about 4 or 5 houses, not apartments, houses. Mind you, barbed wire around houses. Maybe this was like a prison for like rich people, like a richer type of criminal. But like, it was just weird. Like, I had to show my ID at the gate. There was no guard. It was just all like, just a talk box and a camera. I was surveilled heavily. There was surveillance cameras everywhere. And I'm like, what is this place on the Disney property? Barbed wire around the perimeter of like 4 or 5 houses. It looked like as soon as you go through the gate, it's like a cul-de-sac. It's like a little loop. And in the middle of the loop was like picnic tables and a basketball court, just like what I see at halfway houses or in the yard of a prison. I'm like, where am I delivering? I delivered to one of the houses. It was no contact. I just left the food at the door and I had to leave. And to this day, I think about it all the time. I'm like, what was that place? What was that place? Like, it was so weird. Yeah, like that. That's all I got. That's all I got about that. I actually want to try to find it again to see if I could find that place again. I mean, I won't be able to get in. I don't have any reason to get in because I'm not doing Uber Eats to deliver food. But I just want to drive by and just like maybe take a picture and I'll like share it to on the episode one day. But the thing is, Disney property, Lake Buena Vista, is huge. It would take me forever to drive around. And I have a feeling that if I'm just driving around willy-nilly without like a real place to go, I will get stopped by their security or their police. So I'll update you one day if I could find that place. But yeah, just think about that. Just barbed wire around about 4 or 5 houses and picnic tables and a basketball court in the center of the whole place. And it wasn't big. It was just a small little loop. Weird, right? But yeah, what were we talking about? Beans spilling the beans about pedophilia at Universal? Yeah, I believe it. I wonder if, are they still sliming kids? Didn't we find out that like the producers or something were turning the reason the slime is green so they could turn it white so it could look like skeet or something? Sadly, I was slimed at Universal Studios when I was a kid. And now I have that in my conscience. But anyway, what else do we have here? Let's end on this one. So Netflix gets podcasts. Have any of you heard about this? Netflix is going to now host podcasts. Let me read this article. This article comes from the website What's on Netflix. The article is titled "Every Podcast from The Ringer, Barstool, and iHeartMedia is coming to Netflix in 2026. Over 30 video podcasts will begin arriving weekly on Netflix beginning in January 2026. So this month, Netflix is going to acquire, I guess they're going to broadcast podcasts. I'll read a little bit of this article. The podcast business has boomed in recent years, and it was only a matter of time before Netflix got in on the act. As we move into 2026, the service is set to receive a glut of podcast content beginning in January 2026. In this post, we dive into all of the titles coming our way. All right, we ain't got to read this article. Basically, podcasts are coming to Netflix. And one thing about podcasts, okay? If you haven't noticed, podcasts seem to be one of the last forms of free speech. The only place, like, podcasts aren't really censored. Only places that are sharing podcasts, like, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those are the places that are censoring podcasts. But if you're listening to podcasts on iTunes or Spotify, like, they talk about anything, any topic, anything goes. You can talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. But anything that you want to share it to, that's where the censorship happens. That's where the shadow banning happens. Now, Netflix, all of the seasoned conspiracy theorists, all of the seasoned truthers should know that the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Rudolph, you should know his family background. Sigmund Freud is his great granduncle, and the nephew of Sigmund Freud, which I would think is this guy's great nephew. Is the great nephew of this guy, is Edward Bernays. Now, Edward Bernays is known as the father of propaganda. I actually have his book right here. He wrote called Propaganda. Okay. I'm going to read the back of this book. It's titled About the Author. The nephew of Sigmund Freud, Edward Bernays, the author, pioneered the scientific technique of shaping and manipulating public opinion, which he called engineering of consent. During World War I, he was an integral part, along with Walter Lippmann, of the U.S. Committee on Public Information, U.S. Committee of Public Information, aka CPI, a powerful propaganda machine that advertised and sold the war to the American people as one that would make the world safe for democracy. The marketing strategies for all future wars would be based on the CPI model. Over the next half century, Bernays, combining the techniques he had learned in the CPI with the ideas of Lippmann and Freud, fashioned a career as an outspoken proponent of propaganda for political and corporate manipulation of the population, earning the moniker Father of Public Relations or Father of Propaganda. Among his powerful clients were President Calvin Coolidge, Procter & Gamble, CBS, the American Tobacco Company, and General Electric. In addition, his propaganda campaign for United Fruit Company in early 1950s led directly to the CIA's overthrow of the elected government of Guatemala. And if you're not aware, in this book, he actually states that propaganda and marketing are exactly the same thing. Marketing, propaganda, they're the same thing. It's all about what you're trying to push. You're trying to push an idea. You're probably going to use you're if you're trying to push a type of culture, it's probably going to be called propaganda. If you're trying to push a certain product like toilet paper, it's going to be called marketing. So where was I? So yeah, so yeah, that's his book titled Propaganda. And his great nephew is the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Rudolph. And when you think about Netflix, guess like I feel like they basically gave this company to them because Mark Rudolph isn't even a part of Netflix anymore. He stepped down, so I feel like they basically just gave him the company. Because get this, Netflix was named for what it became, not for what it was when it came out. When Netflix came out, it was you rented DVDs through the mail. And if Netflix was named for what it was, it would probably be called Mailflix. But I feel that Netflix knew, the people who created Netflix knew what Netflix was going to become, because now it fits the title. What Netflix is now is what fits the title of Netflix. You watch flicks on the net. That was never the business model back then. And I feel that, since he is the great nephew of Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda, I feel that Netflix is ushering in a new form of propaganda. Every time there's a new event, let's say COVID, they blast shows about infections. You know what I'm saying? They control the narrative and everything. They try to get the people all riled up through media, through movies. And I feel like they're going to do it with this new move to broadcast podcasts. I'm not sure if they're going to broadcast every podcast, but I'm pretty sure they're going to focus on the podcasts that fit the narrative, nothing that pushes the boundaries. But yeah, so that's enough. That's enough today. We're in an hour and 44 minutes on my clock. That's crazy. I didn't really plan on doing the episode this long. I thought I was going to do just like 45 minutes. But yeah, I need to get to bed. I got work in the morning. It is now 4:48, nearly 5 a.m. Ugh. Yeah, I need to get some sleep, guys. I'm going to finish my Baileys. And yeah, probably do a little meditation until I go off to sleep. Practice a little bit of lucid dreaming. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I will be back next week with something. I don't know what the topic is. Like I said, it's mind dump with Jordy Jets. Whatever is on my mind throughout the week, I'll bring it to the episode. But cheers to the weekend. Cheers to the new year. Let's see if any of these any of my predictions come true. But until next week, cheers. Have a good one, guys.
Oh my, we're gonna blow your mind. Peeling back the layers of space and time. From hollow worlds to beings unseen, we're talking